A warehouse explodes in Seattle's dark heart, flames devouring a mural that hides a shocking truth. Luke Martinez, 25, a street artist with a rebel's soul, paints to bury his pain. Kicked out at 17 for being gay, branded a disgrace by his family. But when Ethan Keller, a 28-year-old firefighter with a chiseled jaw and a deadly secret, storms into his life, everything changes. One midnight clash sparks a forbidden connection, stolen glances, electric touches, hearts racing. Luke's haunted by rejection. Ethan's trapped in a fire station's brutal code. Outsiders don't survive. Their art lessons burn with passion. But Captain Ryan's icy stare smells blood. A vandalized mural, a reckless kiss in the chaos, and a secret blown wide open. Ryan's out to crush them. Whispers turn venomous, and Luke's guilt threatens to shatter it all. They flee to Portland, chasing freedom, but a shadow stalks them. Will Luke's art save their love? Can Ethan defy everything? Seattle's Fremont district thrummed under a bruised September sky, the air thick with salt from Puget Sound and the sizzle of late-night food trucks. Luke Martinez, 25, balanced on a creaky scaffold, spraying and hissing as he painted a mural. A phoenix bursting from neon flames, its wings clawing across a gritty warehouse wall. Paint speckled his black hoodie, dark curls falling into his eyes, but he was lost in the art. Luke was a street artist, hungry to carve his name into Seattle's underground scene. But beneath his swagger, a wound festered. At 17, his family had kicked him out for being gay. Their words, "You're a disgrace," a scar he couldn't shake. Every stranger's stare felt like a verdict, and tonight, his heart pounded. Stay cool, Luke. Nobody's watching. Until they were. Red and blue lights slashed the alley, sharp as a blade. Luke's get twisted. Not now. His watch read 2 a.m. He'd lost track of time. A fire truck loomed at the curb, silent but heavy. A figure stepped out, tall and broad, cutting through the haze. Luke gripped his spray can, mind racing. They'll bust me. They'll see who I am. Growing up in a rigid Tacoma suburb, he'd learned to hide fast, dodging slurs, fists, judgment. Even in Seattle's open streets, he felt exposed. "Hands where I can see him," came a deep voice, firm but not harsh. Luke froze, pulse hammering. Stage show. He climbed down, paint-stained hands up, and faced the guy. And damn, he wasn't ready. The firefighter was built like a hero, chiseled jaw, hazel eyes catching streetlights like sparks. Name tag reading Keller. Ethan Keller, 28, radiated strength under his gear, but his gaze held something softer, unreadable. Luke's throat tightened, fear mixing with a spark he couldn't name. Focus. He's just doing his job. Ethan eyed the kid, Luke Martinez, his ID red, dark eyes defiant yet shaky, like a cornered wolf. Ethan knew late-night calls. Seattle's fire station life was all grit, saving lives, keeping his head down. But under his badge, a secret burned. He'd known he was gay since high school, a truth he'd buried to survive. The crew was tight, macho, loyal, ruthless to outsiders. His sister Sophie, who raised him after their parents died, saw him as her rock. Coming out would mean losing her pride, his place, everything. Yet this artist, with his paint-streaked hands and fierce gaze, hit him like a live wire. Stay sharp, Keller. He's just a call. Vandalism complaint. Ethan said, flashlight sweeping the mural. The phoenix glowed, raw and alive, stopping him cold. This yours? Yeah, Luke muttered, braced for trouble. It's art, not vandalism. Got permission. His heart thumped. Why's he staring? Ethan's eyes weren't just checking, they were seeing, and it made Luke's skin buzz. He's gonna clock me. Ethan raised a brow, curiosity cracking his cool. Permission? Show me. Luke fumbled for his phone, pulling up an email from the warehouse owner. Ethan scanned it, glancing back at Luke. You're good, but it's late. Neighbors aren't thrilled. Sorry, Luke said, release hitting hard. But his guard stayed up. Why is he lingering? Ethan's eyes flicked to the mural, then Luke, the air electric. That's some talent, Ethan said, nodding at the phoenix. You do this full-time? Luke blinked, thrown, trying to. Freelance murals, whatever pays. His voice wavered, and he cursed himself. Don't sound weak. Ethan's question felt real, not a trap. But Luke's fear whispered, he's digging. Don't trust him. Ethan stepped back to the truck, exhaling hard. What's wrong with me? Luke's defiant grin, the brush of their fingers over the ID, lingered like smoke. It was dangerous, stupid even, but he couldn't let it go. He's just a guy. Back at the mural, Ethan handed over the ID. No ticket, Martinez. Keep it quiet. Their eyes locked, a spark flaring. Luke's chest tightened. He's just being nice. Thanks, Keller, Luke said, softer now. As Ethan turned to go, he paused. Got more murals like that? Ethan asked, his voice low. I'd like to see him. Luke's heart stopped. Is he for real? His brain screamed. Don't. He's trouble. But Ethan's eyes, warm and open, broke him. Yeah, sure. He pulled out his phone, showing murals, dragons, cityscapes, raw freedom. Ethan leaned in. Is cologne, pine, and smoke, hitting Luke hard. Too close. But Ethan's questions about colors and lines were genuine, and Luke's fear faded. You've got a gift, Ethan said, stepping back. Seattle needs that. Thanks. Luke mumbled, face burning. He doesn't mean it like that. But the words lit something in him, a warmth he hadn't felt in years. Stay safe, Ethan said, eyes lingering. And maybe don't paint at 2 a.m. Luke watched him drive off, heart racing. Not from the stop, but from Ethan's gaze. He's a firefighter. You're nothing to him. But those hazel eyes followed him home. A dangerous hope in a life he'd kept small. 3 nights later, Luke was back in Fremont, sketching a dragon under a streetlight. Pike Place's neon glowed in the distance, coffee scent thick. But his mind was on Ethan, that shy smile, his voice when he asked about art. He was just polite, Luke thought, sprake and hissing. At 25, he learned love was a trap. His family's rejection, "You're not our son," had burned that in. But Ethan's interest cracked his walls, and it scared him senseless. A voice broke the night. Still breaking curfew, Martinez? Luke spun, heart lurching. Ethan stood there, off-duty, jeans, gray hoodie hugging his frame. His smile lit the alley. He came back. Luke's pulse raced, thrill and dread crashing. Killer, he said, voice cracking. What? You stalking me now? Ethan, he corrected, stepping closer. Saw you working. Couldn't resist. His eyes flicked to the dragon. Then Luke, searching. Mind if I watch? I'm hooked. Luke's stomach flipped. Is he here for me? Fear screamed. Don't trust it. But he shrugged. Sure, knock yourself out. His voice was too eager, and he hated it. They stood close, Luke explaining stencils, Ethan asking sharp questions. Their shoulders brushed, and Luke's skin buzzed. Too risky. But Ethan's laugh melted his panic. For once, Luke felt seen, not a screw-up, but himself. Still doubt not. He's straight. Don't ruin this. Ethan's mind churned. The station was all bravado. No room for different. Sophie's pride, his crew's respect, hung by a thread. But Luke's fire was worth it. If they saw me, he pushed it down. Ethan scribbled his number on a scrap. Want to show me more art? Text me. His heart pounded. What am I doing? Luke stared at the paper, hands shaky. Yeah, cool, he said, hope flaring. Just friendly. Don't dream. Good, Ethan said, his smile electric. And Luke, try not to get busted. That night, Luke lay awake, the number like a live wire. Text him. Don't. His family's rejection echoed. He'll hate me. At 3 a.m., he typed, got sketches. Want to see? Nope. Ethan's reply was instant. Name the spot. But as Luke smiled, a shadow moved outside, a figure in the alley, watching. Who's there? His heart froze. Was it a creep, or had someone seen him with Ethan? Was this a spark, or a trap ready to ignite? Will Luke risk it all for a chance at love? Smash that like button and tell us in the comments. Seattle's Capitol Hill pulsed under a misty October drizzle, neon signs flickering over coffee shops and dive bars. Luke Martinez, 25, stood in a graffitied alley, spraying and hissing as he shaped a mural, a lion blazing in electric blues, its eyes fierce with defiance. Paint streaked his ripped jeans, dark curls damp, but his focus was tight. Art was his fight, his way of shouting, I'm still here after his family disowned him at 17 for being gay. Their words, you're not our son, still cut deep, but Seattle's gritty art scene was his shot to rise. Tonight, though, his mind wasn't on the lion. It was on Ethan Keller, the firefighter whose hazel eyes had sparked something wild 3 weeks ago. He's just a friend, Luke told himself, heart racing. Don't be an idiot. But Ethan was more. Their texts, first about murals, then late-night jokes, had pulled them close. Ethan kept showing up at Luke's projects, off-duty, asking about art like it mattered. Luke played it cool, but every glance sent his pulse soaring. He's straight. Has to be. Tonight, they were meeting at the fire station for art lessons on a mural Luke was pitching. Luke's gut flipped. Is this real, or am I setting myself up? Across town, Ethan, 28, tugged on a black jacket, his firefighter badge stashed in a drawer. The station was quiet, the crew on a call, but his mind was a storm. He'd hidden his truth for years, blending into the station's tough guy vibe. Firefighters were family, loud, loyal, brutal to outsiders. His sister Sophie, who raised him after their parents died, saw him as her hero. Coming out would shatter that, cost him his crew. But Luke's fire, his laugh, his grit, was unraveling him. I'm playing with fire. Ethan saw it, grabbing his keys. If they find out, Luke was outlining the lion's mane when Ethan's voice cut through. That thing's got some attitude, Martinez. Luke spun, a grin hiding his nerves. Ethan stood there, gray hoodie hugging his frame, hazel eyes warm under the streetlights. He's here. Luke's chest tightened, thrill and fear colliding. Killer, he said, keeping it light. Thought you'd be saving cats. Ethan, he corrected, stepping closer. Off tonight. Want to learn some art tricks. His shy smile hit Luke like a spark. Is he flirting? Luke tossed him his spray can, their fingers brushing. Electric. Too close. Paint. Then, he said, heart pounding. They worked side by side, Luke guiding Ethan's shaky lines into a lightning bolt behind the line. Their banter flowed, Luke teasing Ethan's kid-level skills, Ethan jabbing Luke's paint-splattered sneakers. But every laugh felt like a tightrope. Luke's past screamed, he'll hate the real me. Ethan saw it. If the crew saw me. Luke's friend Emma, pink-haired and smirking, skated up. Yo, Luke, new apprentice? She teased, eyeing Ethan. Luke's face burned. She's gonna blow this. Ethan, just helping, Luke said fast. Emma winked. Looks cozy, she said, skating off. See you at the gallery, Luke. Bring your helper. Luke's stomach churned. She'll talk. Ethan cleared his throat. Gallery. Luke hesitated. Don't invite him. But Ethan's eyes, warm and curious, broke him. Art show next week. Pitching a mural for your station. Wanna come? Ethan grinned. Your art on our wall? I'm in. Luke's heart skipped. He's not running. At the Belltown Gallery, Luke pitched his mural, Flames and Phoenixes for the Firefighters. Ethan showed up, out of uniform, his gaze locked on Luke. The crowd buzzed. Artists, hipsters, a few of Ethan's crew. Luke's palms sweated. Ethan's presence a rush and a risk. He's here for me. Captain Ryan, Ethan's boss, stood in the back, arms crossed. Old school and tough, Ryan valued the team above all. He'd been eyeing Ethan lately, asking where he spent his nights. Now, his gaze flicked between Luke and Ethan, sharp. He knows something, Ethan thought, chest tight. After, Luke and Ethan grabbed coffees at a food truck, hands brushing as they walked. Luke's skin buzzed, but his eyes scanned the crowd. Too public. Ethan's voice was warm. Your mural's gonna kill it, Luke. You're legit. Thanks. Luke mumbled, face hot. But Ryan's voice cut in. Killer, he called, striding over. His eyes hit Luke, cold. Didn't know you were into art. The word dripped disdain. Ethan's jaw tightened. Supporting the station's project, Ethan said, voice flat. Ryan smirked. Keep your focus on the job, he said, walking off. Luke's heart sank. He's onto us. That night, Luke paced his apartment, Ethan's number glowing. Ryan's trouble, his family's rejection echoed. I ruined everything. But Ethan's texts, jokes, plans, kept coming. Luke typed, want to help with the station mural? Ethan's reply, count me in. Their lessons became nightly. Luke sketching at the station, Ethan passing cans, their laughs echoing. Hands brushed, eyes lingered. Ryan's jabs grew. Keller, you're distracted. And the crew whispered. Emma pulled Luke aside. You're glowing, dude. This guy's got you. Shut up. Luke grinned, but she was right. He was falling, and it terrified him. Ethan felt it too. Sophie asked why he was off, and he dodged, guilt twisting. I'm lying to her. One night, Luke's hand lingered on his, the air crackling. I want this, but at what cost? At Pike Place Market, grabbing tacos, their shoulders pressed, Luke's laugh lighting the night. Ethan's hand grazed Luke's, and they didn't pull away. This is it, Luke thought, until he saw Ryan across the street, watching. Eyes narrowed. Luke yanked back, breath short. We gotta go, he said, voice tight. Ethan's face fell. He thinks I'm ashamed. Luke's heart broke. Ethan drove home, fist clenched. I'm a coward. Ryan's stare burned, a warning. Whispers grew. Keller's got a side thing. His world was closing in. Ryan cornered him next day. You and that artist. People are talking. Ethan's blood froze. Just art, sir, he lied. Ryan's smirk said he knew better. Ethan texted Luke, meet me at the mural tomorrow? Gotta talk. Luke's heart stopped. He's done. But hope flared. One last shot. As Luke neared the station, a mob gathered. Protesters screaming, vandalism, demanding the mural's destruction. Luke's gut sank. My fate. Ryan stepped forward, eyes hard. Did he spark this? Was their secret about to burn? Can Luke and Ethan keep their spark alive? Hit like and comment your guess. Seattle's industrial district roared with chaos. Black smoke curling into a stormy November sky. Sirens wailed as flames licked the walls of an old warehouse, its skeleton glowing red against the rain. Luke Martinez, 25, stood frozen, spray can dangling in his hand. His mural, a phoenix rising from neon flames, was under attack, not by fire but by vandals shouting eyesore and hurling paint cans. Luke's heart pounded, his dark curls plastered with sweat and rain. Art was his fight, his way of proving he was more than the kid his family disowned at 17 for being gay. Their words, "You're not our son," still burned, but this mural was his stand. Now, it was at risk, and so was he. "I can't lose this." His eyes darted to the fire trucks pulling up, and one figure stood out. Ethan Keller, 28, charging toward the blaze in full gear. "He's here." Luke's chest tightened, hope and fear colliding. Weeks of art lessons at the fire station had pulled Luke and Ethan close. Too close. Their late-night laughs, hands brushing over spray cans, had sparked something undeniable. But Captain Ryan's suspicious glares and the crew's whispers were closing in. Luke's past taught him love was a trap. Ethan's job demanded he hide who he was. Firefighters were a brotherhood, tough, loyal, no room for outsiders. Ethan's sister Sophie, who raised him after their parents died, saw him as her hero. Coming out could cost him everything. Yet Luke's fire kept pulling him back. "I'm in too deep," Ethan thought, sprinting toward the warehouse, spotting Luke in the chaos. "He's in danger." Luke wasn't supposed to be here. He'd come to touch up the mural, but protesters, egged on by whispers about vandalism, had escalated things. Paint cans flew, one grazing Luke's shoulder. He ducked, heart racing. "This is my fault." He'd poured his soul into this mural, a tribute to the firefighters, to Ethan. Now, it was a target, and so was he. A protester lunged, shoving Luke against the wall. "Freak," the guy spat, his voice dripping with hate. Luke's blood ran cold, memories of his family's rejection flooding back. Not again. Ethan saw it all. Luke pinned, the crowd closing in, flames creeping closer. His training kicked in, but his heart screamed louder. "I can't lose him." He barreled through, shoving the protester back. "Back off." Ethan roared, his voice cutting through the noise. Luke stumbled, eyes wide, as Ethan pulled him behind a fire truck, away from the mob. "You okay?" Ethan asked, his gloved hand on Luke's shoulder, hazel eyes searching. "Yeah," Luke lied, his voice shaky. Ethan's touch burned through him, steadying his panic. "He saved me." But the fire raged, and Ethan's crew was shouting orders. Luke's mural was half ruined, paint dripping like blood. "I did this. I brought him into this mess." "Stay here," Ethan said, his voice firm but soft. "I gotta go in." Luke nodded, guilt twisting his gut. "He's risking his life, and I'm the reason." Ethan joined his crew, battling the blaze, but his mind was on Luke, his defiance, his fear. "I'm not letting him face this alone." As the fire died down, rain poured harder, soaking the crowd. Luke stood by the truck, watching Ethan work, his heart a mess. "He's a hero, and I'm nothing." The protesters scattered, but the damage was done, his mural scarred, his hope fraying. Ethan broke away, pulling off his helmet, his face streaked with soot. "You sure you're okay?" he asked, stepping close, too close. Luke's breath hitched. "Yeah, just my mural's trashed." His voice cracked, and Ethan's hand rested on his arm, a quiet anchor. "It's not over," Ethan said, his eyes fierce. "You'll fix it. You're stronger than this." Luke's chest warmed, but fear lingered. He doesn't know what this means. Before Luke could speak, their eyes locked, the world fading. Rain, smoke, chaos gone. Ethan's hand slid to Luke's jaw, and in a reckless heartbeat, they kissed, fierce, desperate, rain mixing with the taste of smoke. Luke's heart soared, fear drowned by want. This is real. But as they pulled apart, a shadow loomed. Captain Ryan stood yards away, his face hard as stone. He'd seen it all. "Keller," he barked, striding over, his voice venomous. What the hell was that? The crew froze, eyes on Ethan, whispers starting. Luke's stomach dropped. "I ruined him." Ethan faced Ryan, jaw tight. "Just checking on him, sir." He lied, but Ryan's smirk was cold. "Checking, huh?" Ryan's eyes flicked to Luke, sharp with disdain. "You're on thin ice, Keller. Don't forget who you are." He stormed off, leaving Ethan reeling. Luke backed away, guilt crashing. "I'm sorry," he whispered, voice breaking. "This is my fault." He turned to run, rain blurring his tears. "I'm poison. He's better off without me." Ethan grabbed his arm. "Luke, wait." But Luke pulled free, vanishing into the storm. Ethan stood frozen, heart pounding. "I'll let him go." Ryan's words echoed. "Who you are." The crew's stares burned, and Sophie's pride felt like a weight. "What have I done?" Back at his apartment, Luke paced, paint-stained hands shaking. His phone buzzed. "Ethan, you okay? Talk to me." Luke's heart broke. He'll lose everything. His family's rejection flashed. You ruined everything. He didn't reply, tears falling. I can't drag him down. Ethan, at the station, faced Ryan's glare. Focus, Keller, Ryan snapped. Or you're out. The crew's whispers grew. Keller's slipping. Ethan's world was cracking, but Luke's face wouldn't leave him. I can't lose him. Next day, Luke returned to the mural, heart heavy. The Phoenix was scarred, but he grabbed a can, determined to fight. A text from Ethan lit his phone. Meet me tonight. We're not done. Luke's pulse raced. He's not giving up. But as he painted, a figure watched from the shadows. Ryan, eyes cold. Had he called the protesters? Was he planning something worse? Will Ethan choose love over duty? Can Luke fight for them both? Smash that like button and drop your thoughts. Rain lashed Portland's Pearl District, its cobblestone streets slick under a gray December dawn. Luke Martinez, 25, stood outside a loft studio, spray can in hand, sketching a mural on a brick wall, a dragon curling through vibrant greens, its eyes fierce with hope. Paint flecked his jacket, his dark curls damp, but his heart was lighter than it had been in weeks. Seattle's chaos, the warehouse fire, the ruined mural, Captain Ryan's venomous glare was behind him. Luke had fled with Ethan Keller, 28, the firefighter who'd risked everything for him. Their kiss, caught by Ryan, had blown their secret wide open, forcing them to run. Portland was their fresh start, but doubt lingered. Can we really outrun our past? Luke's family's rejection at 17, "You're not our son," still haunted him. What if I ruin him too? Ethan, in a flannel and jeans, hauled boxes into the loft, his hazel eyes catching the morning light. Seattle's fire station, with its macho code and Ryan's threats, felt like a bad dream. He'd walked away from his crew, from Sophie's pride, for Luke. Firefighters didn't forgive outsiders, and coming out had cost him his place. But Luke's fire, his grit, his art, was worth it. I chose him, Ethan thought, watching Luke paint, his heart full but heavy. But what if it's not enough? Sophie's last call. Why are you running? Stone. He hadn't told her the truth. Not yet. She'll hate me. Their escape had been rushed. After Luke fled the fire, Ethan found him at his apartment, paint-stained and broken. We're done here, Ethan had said, voice firm. Come with me. Luke, tears in his eyes, had nodded. They'd packed a car and driven south, landing in Portland's artsy embrace. Luke scored a gig with a local gallery, a chance to show his murals. Ethan found a new fire crew, one that didn't ask questions. But the weight of what they'd left behind pressed hard. Luke blamed himself for Ethan's lost career. Ethan feared he'd let Luke down. Inside the loft, Luke dropped his can, wiping his hands. This place is unreal, he said, voice soft. The studio's high ceilings and skylights felt like freedom. Ethan grinned, tossing him a coffee from a nearby food cart. Better than Seattle's alleys, huh? Ethan teased, but his eyes searched Luke's. Is he okay? Luke's guilt was loud. Every flinch, every quiet moment screamed it. Yeah, Luke said, sipping the coffee, his smile forced. He gave up everything for me. His family's rejection echoed. You destroy what you touch. He wanted to believe in this. Portland, Ethan, a future, but fear clawed deep. What if Ryan follows us? Ethan felt it too. At his new station, the crew was chill, but he kept his guard up. They don't know me. He missed Sophie's laugh, the old crew's banter, even if it came with strings. One night, over takeout, Luke caught his far-off look. You miss it, don't you? Luke asked, voice low. Ethan hesitated. Some of it, not the lies. He reached for Luke's hand, their fingers lacing. This is where I'm supposed to be. Luke's heart warmed, but doubt lingered. He's here because of me. What if he regrets it? The gallery gig was Luke's lifeline. He poured himself into a new mural series. Dragons, phoenixes, stories of rebirth, for a show that could put him on the map. Ethan helped, hauling supplies, cracking jokes. One night, under the loft skylights, Luke showed him sketches. These are us, Luke said, voice shy, pointing to a dragon shielding a phoenix. Ethan's throat tightened. You're gonna blow them away, Ethan said, pulling Luke close. Their foreheads touched, the air soft but heavy. I love him. The thought hit Ethan hard, but saying it felt too big, too soon. Luke leaned in, kissing him, slow, warm, a promise. This is real. But as they pulled apart, Luke's phone buzzed. A message from Emma, his Seattle friend. Heard Ryan's asking about you. Want your back. Luke's stomach dropped. He's not done with us. The next day, at the gallery, Luke met the curator, Mia, a sharp woman with a knack for spotting talent. Your work's raw, Luke, she said, eyeing his sketches. This show could be big. Luke's heart raced. This is my shot. But as he left, he saw a familiar face in the crowd. Sophie, Ethan's sister, watching from a coffee shop across the street. What's she doing here? Ethan was at the station when Sophie called. I'm in Portland, she said, voice tight. We need to talk. Ethan's blood ran cold. She knows. He met her at a food cart pod, her eyes searching his. You left everything, eh? For what? That artist. Her words cut, but her worry hurt more. It's not just him, Ethan said, voice low. It's me. I was hiding who I am. Sophie's face softened, but doubt lingered. You're my brother, she said. But it's a lot. She laughed, promising to think, and Ethan's heart ached. I'm losing her. That night, Luke found Ethan staring at the dragon mural, lost in thought. Sophie was here, Ethan admitted. She's not ready. Luke's guilt surged. I'm breaking his family. I'm sorry, Luke whispered, voice breaking. Ethan pulled him close. Don't be, Ethan said. You're my home now. The words hit Luke like a spark, but fear lingered. What if we can't make this work? As the gallery show neared, Luke's murals took shape, each stroke a defiance of his past. Ethan's new crew invited them to a bar, and for once, they didn't hide, hands brushing, smiles open. This could be us, Luke thought, hope rising. But Emma's warning nod, Ryan's asking. One night, under Portland's twinkling lights, Luke stopped Ethan on a bridge over the Willamette. Marry me, Luke said, voice raw, holding a ring he'd bought with his first gallery check. I want this, us, forever. Ethan's eyes widened, heart pounding. Yes, Ethan said, kissing him hard, the city fading. This is what matters. They stood together, breathless, the future bright but fragile. We're getting married, Luke whispered, laughing through tears. Ethan grinned, pulling him close, their love a quiet rebellion. But as they embraced, a text buzzed. Emma, Ryan's in Portland. He's looking for you. Luke's blood ran cold. He's coming for us. Can Luke and Ethan build a future, or will Ryan's shadow destroy them? Hit that like button and comment your predictions. Portland's waterfront sparkled under a crisp January sunset, the Willamette River reflecting a blaze of orange and pink. Luke Martinez, 25, stood on a makeshift stage in a bustling art gallery, his mural series, dragons, phoenixes, raw stories of rebirth, lighting up the walls. Paint still flecked his jacket, his dark curls tamed for once, but his eyes shone with fire. Today was his wedding day to Ethan Keller, 28, and the opening of his gallery show, a bold declaration of their love. Seattle's scars, Captain Ryan's threats, the ruined mural, their desperate escape, felt distant, but not gone. Luke's family's rejection at 17, you're not our son, still lingered, yet here he was, defying it all. We made it, he thought, heart racing. But Emma's warning about Ryan being in Portland gnawed at him. Is he watching? Ethan, in a sharp blazer, stood beside Luke, hazel eyes warm with pride. Leaving Seattle's fire station, his crew and Sophie's trust had gutted him, but Portland's open vibe and his new crew gave him ground to stand on. Luke's courage, his art, his heart, was Ethan's anchor. He's my home, Ethan thought, squeezing Luke's hand. Sophie was here, front row, her smile cautious but real. She'd come around, slowly, after their talk. I'm not losing her. But Ryan's shadow loaned. Ethan's new captain had mentioned a visitor asking about him. If he's here, I'm ready. The gallery buzzed. Artists, locals, Ethan's fire crew, all drawn to Luke's murals. Each piece told their story. A dragon for Luke's defiance, a phoenix for Ethan's rebirth, a storm for their struggles. Luke stepped to the mic, voice steady. These murals are about fighting for who you are, he said, eyes on Ethan. About love that won't back down. The crowd cheered, but Luke's pulse spiked. Is Ryan out there? Emma, pink-haired and grinning, hugged Luke after his speech. You killed it, dude, she said, then whispered, no sign of Ryan. But stay sharp. Luke nodded, fear flickering. He could ruin this. Ethan caught his look, pulling him close. We're good, Ethan murmured, his breath warm. This is our day. Luke leaned into him, heart tumming. He's right. The ceremony was simple, under the gallery's skylights. Sophie officiated, her voice soft but strong. You two remind me love is brave, she said, eyes misty. Luke and Ethan exchanged rings, plain silver, bought with Luke's gallery earnings. Their vows were raw. Luke promised to paint a life with you. Ethan swore to fight any fire for us. When they kissed, fierce and unashamed, the crowd roared. Luke's heart soared. This is us, free. But as they cut the cake, a food cart special with neon frosting, a figure slipped into the gallery. Ryan, in a dark coat, eyes cold. Luke froze, spotting him. He's here. Ethan followed his gaze, jaw tightening. Not today. Ryan approached, but his face wasn't hostile, just tired. Tiller, Ryan said, voice low. Martinez. He pulled an envelope from his coat. Read it later. I got it wrong. He turned and left, shoulders slumped. Luke's breath caught. Is that an apology? They opened it later, alone in their lost. Ryan's letter was short. I was wrong about you both. Live your truth. Ethan exhaled, years of tension loosening. Luke teared up. Was free. The gallery show was a hit. Mia, the curator, called Luke's work a game changer, hinting at bigger gigs. Ethan's crew toasted them. No whispers, just cheers. Sophie hugged Ethan, whispering, I'm proud. For the first time, they weren't hiding. As the night wound down, Luke and Ethan stood on the waterfront, rings glinting. We did it, Luke said, voice thick. Ethan kissed him, slow and sure. The city's lights a backdrop. We're just starting, Ethan said, grinning. But as they walked away, hand in hand, a new mural caught Luke's eye, and signed, Fresh, a phoenix in bold reds. A note was taped to it. Keep burning. No signature, but Luke's get twisted. Ryan, someone else. Their story wasn't over. New cities, new fights, new art waited. We'll face it together, Luke thought, squeezing Ethan's hand. The future was open, fierce, theirs to claim. What's next for Luke and Ethan? Will their love conquer all? Smash that like button and tell us in the comments.